Hey team, it's Callum here. These are the 3 things that I think you need to know before starting architecture at university. Your work is your responsibility, and it's your responsibility alone. This means you can both decide when you work and how much work you want to do. Now, obviously, if you do no work at all, you're going to fail, you're going to get kicked off. However, it does mean that, unlike in school, nobody is going to be chasing you if you're not working quite as much as you could do. So it's just worth being aware of this, as it can be a bit of a shock to the system. It can be a little bit different to how things tended to run in school, what you might be used to. So the takeaway is, organization is absolutely key here. Have a wall planner, have like a diary, write down all of your important deadlines, you'll pin up your submission dates for each term in that, and then you want to plan out when you need to be doing each step. When you're moving from context to concepts, when you're starting your floor plans, all of those individual steps within a project that you'll come to learn about as you progress through the year, you need to be trying to think about when you want to do all of those things by, so that you don't get to the last week before your deadlines and suddenly have loads to do. Okay, point number 2, you don't always have to listen to the tutors. Okay, so the way architectural education works, the majority of your time will be spent working on your design studio work. And then a couple of times a week, you will have meetings or critiques, or crits as they're called, with tutors who will come and help you critique your work, etc., help you along with your projects. Now, similar to the first point, the important thing to remember here is your work is independent. It's your own, it's your work. So the tutors are people that will come in and will give you criticism to help you move forwards with your project, but you don't have to take all of their advice on board. There aren't set ways that you have to complete a project in. You won't get marked down by not listening to one specific piece of advice that one tutor gave you one time. Tutors are there to suggest ideas, to help you with technical things, and to answer your questions. They're not there to tell you exactly how you need to do your project. That is always going to be your decision. In fact, in some cases, tutors actually will quite strongly contradict each other. You might have one tutorial on like a Monday that'll say one thing, and you'll think, oh my gosh, I have to completely redo my project. And then on Thursday, you'll have a totally different opposite piece of advice from a different tutor that completely contradicts with what you were told on Monday. So you need to listen to the tutors. They've obviously got lots of experience, but you need to think about what they've said carefully. You don't necessarily have to act on absolutely everything that they say. Finally, you must remember that tutors are there to help you. There are so many people that I see in tutorials that just kind of present their project and then listen to the tutor just giving them a monologue about their work. No, the tutors are there to help you. If you've got a question, if you've got something you're thinking about in your work, ask them. Otherwise, what are you paying for with your education? I will never sit in a tutorial and just let my tutor talk at me. I will grill them for anything that I need answering, anything that I think I need help with, anything that I just want to run by them. I think absolutely you've got to be confident and you've got to embrace the fact that they're there to help you. Third and finally, separate your marks from your work. Hear me out on this one. I know that you're going to want to get a good mark and this sounds like rubbish. First thing to be aware of, marking works very differently in architecture to how it does in many other subjects, especially something like maths where you've got a very clear right and wrong. Secondly, if you want to follow through and actually become an architect after graduating, then marks don't really matter at all. The thing that really counts is showing your portfolio, showing all of the collected images of all of your work from your university course at a job interview. They'll be much more interested in that than they will be than the actual marks you got from your degree course, because they understand how it works. Also, as I said before, tutors can have contradicting opinions, and you've got to remember that your work is ultimately marked by people, by tutors, by people with their own opinions, and so the mark that you get is ultimately, on some level, only a reflection of one person's opinion of your work. So you can't worry about that too much. It's actually not uncommon for people to get really low marks in university, but go on to produce really groundbreaking work in practice. That's not to say that if you're failing, it's simply because you're awaiting fame. Obviously, if you haven't done any work, then you're still not going to get a good mark. The point is, worry about passion first and marks second. I get it. You want to do well, it's your degree, it's your thing. Of course you want to have something to show for, and especially to other people that don't study architecture, they won't necessarily understand how the marking works. However, you have to learn to separate marking from your work. If you worry about marks too much, your work will suffer. Instead, if you just channel all of that energy worrying about marks instead into worrying about your work and just work enthusiastically and explore your different ideas, then you'll find you're much more creative, you'll find you'll be able to enjoy your work more, and that all means you'll work harder and more effectively, which eventually can translate into better marks. Okay, so that concludes the 3 things that I think you need to know before starting architecture at university. Remember that your work is your own responsibility. Remember that your tutors are there to help you, but don't necessarily always listen to everything they say. And thirdly, remember to separate marking from your work itself, and remember that staying passionate and putting lots of care into your work is the most important thing. I hope this has been helpful. If you're starting architecture this year, good luck. If you've got any more questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching and have a great day.